Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, osia dem yopo.
This is PENDREAM TV, the only channel that brings you the best and latest updates in politics. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for more updates, like and also share to other members to watch as well. You can also leave a comment after watching or send us a voice note on our WhatsApp number, which is 0277128777. Thank you. Today, Johnny Hughes has also sent his boldness to another level by telling the NPP members, especially Nana and the Ashanti regional minister, and some of his appointees, the hard truth, saying he is not surprised because the Ashanti regional minister has learned his arrogance from Nana Addo, his leader. Without much ado, I'd like you to join me listening to what he said into detail. Thank you.
Johnny's by Juma Mubarak to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. Pray for Ghana and say a prayer for yourself and for me as well. And pray that we'll live long, stay strong, and learn to do right. The shocking thing that we're learning is that by 2036, SNIT reserves will be depleted. And it's painful indeed that we are playing a lot of political football and putting square plugs in round holes at a very important place like SNIT. You remember the Japadia report? Yes, it was in the media and in the public space for more than 3 years. Things in that report are beginning to play out, and they are playing out exactly the way they've been spelled out. Mr. Addo, a Deputy Director General at SNIT, protested and resigned. Dr. Tinkran was kicked out. Yasafo Mafo's son was put in there. And that's where the painful thing begins. It's sad. Sad indeed. Now let's go to Korle-Bu. Yesterday I told you that the prices will go up at Korle-Bu, prices for services. And it defeats the entire purpose of not bringing back cash and carry. It defeats it. Put up the memo for me from our friend who is the CEO of Korle-Bu, who is also head of the burns and plastic surgery department. So he writes a memo to himself and he signs the memo. So this one that he has written, for example, Chief Executive Officer and signed, is written to director and all heads. He will receive a copy of his own memo signed by his own hand. But that is not the conversation. 10th April 2024 is what is dated. It's copied to the Chief Internal Auditor. Subject: implementation of approved fees and charges. The Ministry of Finance has approved new fees and charges for teaching hospitals for implementation under the Fees and Charges Miscellaneous Provision Act 1018-2002. In compliance to the Fees and Charges Miscellaneous Provision Regulation 2024 LI 2481, you are requested to take necessary steps to commence implementation of the approved fees and charges. There were upward and downward reviews of some of the proposed fees and charges submitted to the Ministry of Finance for approval. In light of the above, the following measures should be applied. 1. Approved fees that are higher than the current charges will be inputted into the LIMS, the same LIMS that we used to catch the Korle-Bu from charging renal dialysis people unapproved fees. Procedures that have approval in the LI be not on the LIMS must be captured approved fees. 3. Heads of departments are to constitute a team involving a medical practitioner, accountant, and IT manager for the smooth incorporation of the fees and charges into LIMS. Attached are the copies of whatever it is. Now, I have the list of how much people are paying. And things that used to cost, for example, 80 Ghana cedis at Korle-Bu now cost 150 cedis, right? Things that used to cost 800 cedis now cost about 1,500, 1,600. And yesterday I was looking through it, and forget about this memo. The memo says, oh, some of them upward and downward. Most of the rates have either been maintained or the prices have been shot upward. Those that have been brought downward, you can count them at your fingertips. And you ask yourself, I am sick. I am not well. I am not in the position to work to get money. I come to the hospital, a state hospital, and then I am hit with a heavy bill. Yesterday at Korle-Bu, when some of our guys went there at Korle-Bu, people came, MRI, CT scan, they couldn't do it. They had to go back. People couldn't do it. They couldn't afford it. They had to go back. Already what is existing, people cannot pay. Now we are adding more insult to injury and asking them to pay some more. So the question is, why are we so wicked? Why? Most of the people who have money, they don't go to the public hospitals. So when you see people walking into the public hospital, either they are coming in for a specialist because you find the best specialist there. Either people are coming there for specialists because you find the best specialist there, or they are coming there because they cannot afford the private hospital. And this is a note to Parliament. This is a note to Korle-Bu. This is a note to all the teaching hospitals. This is a note to, we don't have a minister for health now, but Bernard Okoboy, this is a message to you, Ghana Health Service. Do we want to kill all the people before we know that, yes, we have killed them with our prices, or what? Then yesterday when we went to Korle-Bu, we also saw something. You remember the Oniado vans? Oniado, people used to come and hire them to go into the hinterlands to go and conduct surgeries. They were there. That was phase 1. They have all been left to rot. The Oniado vans, they have all been left to rot because it was another regime that did it. So we are busy outdooring ambulances, and we are busy allowing other health facilities, right? Mobile health facilities to show the image, show the thing. Health facilities to go to rot away because we didn't procure it. And it was procured with state resources. These are Oniado vans. They have all been left to rot away. If you want to know where they are, when you get to Korle-Bu, right, where they call mobile, if you're in a trotro, they call mobile or taxi. But now it's a Total filling station. It's right opposite Korle-Bu. I think the middle gate, yes, the middle gate. When you get there, you enter Korle-Bu, and the first turn on your left, you see this. The Oniado vans, they have all been left to rot. As of the time that the government came into power, these machines were not faulty. They were not destroyed. We just grounded them and allowed all of them to rot. We wasted the state's money. We allowed all of them to rot. Why are we so wicked like that? And while we are leaving Oniado to rot, the nursing training allowance that we make so much noise about is in arrears for so many. The ones who completed, the nurses who completed school, some are old as much as 18 months, some 13 months. The new nurses who are in there, 3-4 months, they have not been paid a penny, a peswa. But we make noise about this. Show the Oniado thing again. We make so much noise about some of the things, and we want people to praise us. But look at such an investment left to rot. It's there at Korle-Bu now. If you go and check it out, you find it. It's there. It's been left to rot. If you ask for the explanation why such facilities that used to help people in the villages and the forgotten parts of this country, why? Because some of us supposed to be in the Western region, in the Bono region, in the Volta region, they have all been brought back to Korle-Bu and allowed to rot. If you ask the question, nobody. Sometimes you just don't understand it. You just can't understand it. Why? I shall protect the public purse. Why? Let us be citizens, not spectators. Why? The vans have been left to rot. If this doesn't cut through your heart, then you are a heartless person. If this doesn't cut through your heart, then you are heartless, because there are people whose lives depended on this Oniado thing. And you can imagine how many people have died because we just decided one day to ground all of them. That is how wicked we are as a people. And we are so proud. Now we leave all of these things and we say, oh, now we are going to change the school uniforms for the children. We are going to paint the schools blue and white. Add red, make it NPP colors preku. Now we are going to paint the schools from the Kokonti and Nkati that we know. We are going to paint it blue and white. Now add red. You are going to change school uniforms. You are going to paint schools. Provide common textbooks for students. You are not providing. Common textbooks. Dr. Yaweduchum. Common textbooks. From Napo to Dr. Yaweduchum. Common textbooks. You changed the curriculum. Nobody forced you. Nobody held a gun to your head. You changed the curriculum. Your children don't school in this country. You change the curriculum, provide common textbooks. You have not provided the textbooks. You are going to, so the schools under trees, I hope you also change their painting. The schools under trees, you change their painting too, right? The schools under trees, you also paint them blue and white, right? You buy paint and paint them blue and white like you sprayed schools under trees during COVID. What are we doing, really? And you see, it's the same mindset. Procurement. Let's go and procure school uniforms. Let's go and procure paint. Let's go and procure painters. Sourcing. Let them come and change the color. Procurement. Let's call it, it's money. Let's chop. There's money there. Let's chop. It's money. Have we ever thought about those who sell these materials, these Kokonti and Nkatewunu materials, who have made a projection for the year, maybe 2 years ahead, and bought those materials and stocked them? What are they going to do with those materials? You have school suppliers that you have not paid. Some of them have bought these things in advance because of inflation and the exchange rate and all of that. Have you thought about them? What kind of conversations have happened with them? Because it is the same attitude that we used for the free SHS, that we pushed private secondary schools who were very, very supportive when the state did not have the capacity to accommodate the overflow. The traditional secondary schools that we know, at a point, there was an overflow. It took private secondary schools to come in to save the day. When it was time for us to do free SHS, we pushed them aside. We didn't give them anything. And today we have collapsed a lot of private secondary schools. We are continuing in the collapse of private basic schools. Because when you go and sit for your BC in a public school, you will see that your grades suddenly, that's what they are alleging. It becomes better, you are okay, You get the best of schools. When you sit for your BC in a private school, you have a problem. So children now go up to Form 2, and then by Form 2, they leave and go to a public school, go and register and sit for their BC, and they get the schools of their choice. And we are doing this and supervising this, and we are collapsing the private basic schools. I thought that we said that this was a capitalist government. A capitalist government that will help the private sector to grow. Under your watch, the private sector is collapsing. Because the interest rate is beating them. The lending rate is beating them. The exchange rate is beating them. Inflation is beating them. Everything is beating them, and all we are thinking about is procurement. That's all we are thinking about. I said, you change the curriculum. Schools under trees. Where are the textbooks? And those schools under trees, the monies that we want to use to change the school uniforms and to paint, can we use those monies to at least eradicate schools under trees first? Can we? Don't we do that which is important before we do that which is nice? Don't we? Or have we forgotten our African values so suddenly? And then when it hits, when you have leaders, and they, look, ECG currently is on a tackle with the Ashanti Regional Minister, Mr. Simon Osemesa. Play his audio for me. Play for me his video. Play it for me. The Ashanti Regional Minister.
I apologize for doing my work as chairman of the security authority in the region. No, I am asking, do I have to apologize for doing my security work? So we move on. Next one. I apologize for doing my work as chairman of the security authority in the region. No, I am asking, do I have to apologize for doing my security work? So we move on. Nobody can stop me and the Regional Security Council from performing our security responsibilities as enshrined under the Constitution. I ask the police to invite Engineer Mark Asumani Wiafe on security grounds because of the happenings in the electricity power sector in the region. And the fact that a task force can always come from outside to disconnect without the proper information. What is ironical is that they tell me they are not under me, and for that matter, I cannot tell them what to do, but they want to tell me how I have to execute my security responsibilities as enshrined in the Security and Intelligence Agencies Act of 2020, Act 1030. They want to tell me. But they say I cannot tell them what to do. And I want to also tell them what they stated in their publication, I think on the 18th of April 2024, that their managers are members of the Regional Security Council. It's palpable false.
It's palpable false. It's palpable falsehood. That's how we say it, sir. Not palpable false. It's palpable falsehood. Now, Mr. Minister, offer one kasayi. Sebi one kasayi. Offer one kasayi. You see, there is a slight difference between arrogance and confidence. And respectfully, I think that you have slided into the domain and province of arrogance. What was Engineer Wiafe's crime? There was a task force from Accra that was mobilizing funds, trying to retrieve monies that was owed ECG. The university that you are busily talking about in terms of security. In terms of security, 600,000, that's what they owed. So you are intimidating the people from doing their work and you are putting it within the domain of security. Just like we were told, we have still not been told how much the president spent in all those trips, Sewa Bruni, everything. We have not been told. We're told it's a national security conference. So you are covering it under security. And that is the problem we have in this country, that everybody is giving what you call national security, district security, regional security, blah, 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 and we shroud it under security when people have no knowledge about security. You want the ECG people to apologize for doing their legitimate work. Now they are wearing red bands and they are threatening to go around and disconnect people. And you say that you have forgotten that you were so humble at the time when the president was announcing you on the 11th of January 2017. Your hands were at your back. Your hands were at your back. Obedient minister. They called you the elephant in the room. They said you have perfect human relations. You have forgotten that the ECG people too, they have constituents and they vote. They have people that they increase as senior staff. You have forgotten. You have stepped on the legs of school feeding caterers. Now you are fighting with ECG. You are fighting with everybody. But why am I not surprised? Play the president's video for me. This will be what? How many times? The umpteenth time that the president, look at the president's bodyguard. He's using his left hand, and the president's bodyguard is supposed to be a chief at Alajo in Accra. He's using his left hand to signal other chiefs to get up. And then the president himself says, you get up. Why are you sitting down? I should greet you while you are sitting down. Get up. You remember the national anthem issue where the president asked the chiefs to get up, sent Henry Quarter to go and tell the chiefs to get up. A few weeks later, his daughter was standing next to him, receiving a phone call while the national anthem was on, and he closed his eye. He didn't see. If it's his family and friends, he sees no wrong. If I were in that community, I would move for my chief to be destood. Is it by force to greet? So this is where the Ashanti regional minister may be learning his arrogance from. This is where the Ashanti regional minister may be learning his arrogance from. that the sense of entitlement. They've forgotten this was the same humble Nanado Munso Minshao, Mabomu Bakumembie, Mabomu Mienumembie. This is the same gentleman. And I showed you the video of Simon Osei, and then when he was being nominated, he had his hand behind him in an obsequious manner. Very respectful, reverently. So what changed? And you see, come back to Simon Osei. Just put this photo and freeze it. I think the interest is just about elections. Because Mr. Simon Osei, the people you spoke to, who you told that you not let anybody come and misbehave in your region because it is an election year, those same people, they talk to some of us. That means more beyond misbehavior because election they say a winning breaking the eighth. The same people you spoke with, they speak with some of us. How do you intimidate somebody who is doing a legitimate job? Take me back to Who Said Pierre. Play that video for me. Who Said Pierre? Play it for me. He was sacked and he apologized and was reinstated. Play the video for me.
I don't know. Yes, sir. What is it? Hey, you don't put me. Who is going to put me? What is it? What do you mean by Pia? What do you mean by Pia? I'm a citizen. When you see somewhere behave like you are talking to your co-equal, am I your co-equal? You are to behave. If you are a hospital worker, who are you? Why do you have to behave in that manner? Well, I find that much. I'm not talking to you. I'm not
The arrogance of power then was punished. The arrogance of power now has never been punished. If we're in any serious country that is minded of teaching the younger generation on how to treat other human beings and how to behave properly in public, I tell you, Mr. Simon Osei and the many others who have shown a similar character would not be at post. But you see, the president himself does it, and he does it in public. Because the president has a protocol team. The president has a national security. The president has a state protocol who go ahead. That's why there's an advanced team who go ahead to go and say, president is coming. Please get up. You meet him, you greet him. Then president is also told that, oh, as for this chief, he doesn't get up. You have to sit down. This one, blah, blah, blah. Where was the state protocol? Who are the managers of the president? Who are the managers of the regional minister? What is going on? What really is going on? Now, play the ECG video for me, then we end on that one. Play the ECG video for me, then we end on that one.
Man shouldn't try. If you try ECG...
Angered by the arrest, the junior and senior staff union of the electricity company demanded an apology from the regional minister. They described the arrest as a strategy to bully ECG officials and force them to do the bidding of political heads at the expense of the company's interests.
This is a sort of intimidation, and we think that the action that was taken by the regional minister was unnecessary. He said he has instructed the general manager to take instructions from him before he embarked on any disconnection exercise. We want to make it clear to him that we don't take instructions from him.
To press home their demand for an apology from the minister, all ECG offices in the Ashanti region were hoisted with red flags. The union has asked their 4 regional managers to stop attending any meeting called by the Regional Security Council until the minister apologizes.
Until they pay the money, we will go for the money. Either they pay or we disconnect them. And that one, nobody can negotiate with us.
The Ashanti Regional TUC chairman, Daniel Akwa, indicated that not even the regional minister will be spared from any disconnection exercise if he fails to pay his bills.
Let the minister know that if anybody owes us, we need to take our money. Even if he owes us in his private house, we'll go there. If you owe a person, we'll disconnect him. Then the police must come and arrest all of us. If you arrest any regional any regional boss, all of us will be at the prison yard. So they should expand the prison yard. All of us are coming.
The ECG staff are not backing down with their protest until the minister accedes to their demand and apologizes for his action.
We'll end it here. 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0.
Thank you for watching. PENDREAM TV really appreciates your time. Please, if today being the first time here, please, I would like you to subscribe to the channel for us, hit the notification bell, like and also share to other members to watch. Thank you.
Dedi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.